Good afternoon, guys. Jim at Cityscape Log here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad that you're here. Kind of a different format. Sometimes I'll give you a conversation before I mow, after I mow. This will be during as I mow. And this one has a couple of stories I'll tell you in just a little bit. But as you can see, that most of my yards are 20 minutes and under, and I mean start to finish. It's obviously mowing, edging, and trimming. I'll go ahead and also get the backyard, and I'll actually fast pace this one a little bit for as I carry the camera on, so you'll see that. Most of my yards are all going to be 20 minutes or less. This is a typical Florida home. This particular yard is the first time you're seeing this, first time me doing this. This was directly across the street is my normal routine mow that I do for another couple. This lady had just moved in from Michigan. This is in October, so it's good weather. We don't go bi-weekly until first week of November, so we're still mowing every single week. It's still growing. Now naturally, if it's fertilized and irrigated, it's certainly going to grow pretty fast. But once we get a couple of cold snaps, that it slows it down just enough where we're actually in transition. That typically 7 days cutting is just too soon. It's about 12, 13 days is when it truly needs it. Of course, then in November we stretch it to 14 days because I don't really have a 10-day mow schedule. Don't have that. It's weekly mows or bi-weekly mows. So we'll migrate towards the bi-weekly here soon. So this is in October, so we're going to get this probably 3 times in October. You'll probably see this, I don't know, maybe in the towards the end of October, middle of October. We'll see, whatever how fast I can do the edit, right? So in case you didn't know, this is a right 36. Most of my yards, of course, with the fences being 42 inches, they don't really get any bigger than that. Some yards the fences are really small. I have to turn them down because I don't use a push mower anymore. No. It takes too much time, and people don't want to pay for that extra time to push. So, and if you hadn't known that we actually do a monthly schedule, it's a routine schedule. It's every single week in the probably a good 8 months out of the year, and 4 months is bi-weekly. So it's kind of average billing, if you will. So they don't get charged per cut. It's a contractual obligation on their part. It's yearly. It's all I take. I don't take one-time cuts anymore. That side of my business is way over. So I am completely full. I was not really wanting to do this, but she kind of sweet-talked me into this. So I went ahead and did this. Now this grass here doesn't really have a predominant grass. It probably has maybe 30% bahia. And right now I'm cutting this at 3 inches, but it's mostly a lot of different weeds. It's hard to tell from this angle, but you'll see some in the back. There's a lot of crabgrass here. There's a lot of dollar weed. There's a lot of signal grass and torpedo grass. I almost can't tell the difference between the two. So just got finished up here, and it's been what 8 minutes or so. I don't know where we're at with the clock, and you can see that they're trying to do some work here and remove some overgrown bushes. You can see that little bald spot onto the right there as I pass over it. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that big palm back there, but maybe they like the palm trees. We'll see. But anyway, they had just moved in from Michigan, so it's kind of an eye-opener for her because right now their grass is going dormant. I'm sure you guys up north know that feeling, so I'm sure you guys have been on bi-weekly for a while now. But we mow all year long. It is bi-weekly all year, well, sorry, through the winter months, so we'll be bi-weekly through February. And then we'll start to pop, depending on the freezes. We don't get a whole lot of freezes. We actually are below the frost line. What that means is that it rarely has a frost here. If I have a frost, It may be here for 2 hours or so. It's enough a little bit in the morning, and it goes off. So our weather, climbs up to the 60s and 70s during the day, and in December, January, February. Certainly in the wee hours in the morning, it can be 35, 45 degrees, and it's pretty cold in the morning. But it has actually snowed twice here in my area. I'm in a town called St. Petersburg, about 30 minutes kind of southwest to Tampa, just above Sarasota. Pretty busy area now. Everybody was moving towards here, so it's getting pretty crowded here. But typically, you see our utilities, of course, are above ground. Remember, some of our areas are 12 to 18 feet below sea level. I'm sorry, above sea level, above. So we really can't, bury too much of our communication lines or electricity lines. It'd have to go pretty deep, and then we're going to be in the aquifer, so that's why everything has to kind of be above ground. I don't know what your area is, but you see all the power lines there, the cable lines, telephone lines. I mean, does anybody have those landlines anymore? We still do. I don't. I just use their cell phones. But anyway, they had just retired and bought this home, and I don't know if they sold their other one or if they're going to kind of go back and forth. She didn't really elaborate, so I don't really know. But they actually had a lawn service before, and he didn't do a good job. He was using a push mower. You probably see the push mower. He was using their mower that they bought. So it's kind of strange that I don't know where they get the help from, but she saw me and wanted to know if I can cut it for the next couple of months for them until they can get moved in, and so that'll take me until obviously November, December. I don't know how much further into December they're going to keep me, but we'll go to bi-weekly mows here. December, probably it's kind of a tri-weekly, if you will, but it's a routine service that I have. It's and this particular day I do this on Mondays, so that's when her grass will be mowed. And then, whether she wants some extra services or not. Now, I don't fertilize. I don't have the application license to do that. I could have down the road. I don't really use Roundup or any of the chemicals. I don't have a license for that. So any of those extra services they're going to have to do on their own or get an outside service. I'm just simply nowadays, I'm just cutting, mowing, and trimming. And maybe I'll do some hedges and some trimming of some bushes, things like that. No longer am I climbing a ladder. I'm not doing that. That little thing you see on the right of the house there in between the fence, they're going to cut that down. So it's hard for me to get in the mower. I'm going to have to use the trimmer for that area. But yeah, this is another one I didn't really want to do it, but for the next couple of months, it's getting a little bit cooler weather. I'm going to go bi-weekly cuts anyway. I'm going, yeah, I'll do it for the next couple of months, and then after that, then I'm sure they're going to do their own thing. They were kind of stunned when I told them. I said, yeah, you still need to cut your grass at least every 2 weeks. She goes, why? In the winter in Michigan, we don't cut our grass for months at a time. I said, well, this is Florida. We get the sunshine, we get the rain, we get the tropical temperatures. It's still going to be warm here, and I've been in Christmas time in my shorts. It's been that warm all the time. So when we get cold spell, it usually lasts a couple of days, and then it warms back up. So like I said, I told you, it's rarely do we get any frost here. We may get a couple of days for a couple of hours. There was the time when I did lose a bunch of my palms in my backyard, and that was it was cold the whole month of February. It never got out at 33 degrees. It destroyed all my palms. So it can happen. We can get some frost, and all of our tropical plants gets toast. Plant again, right? But if you're new here and you kind of like this, what I'm doing, give me the thumbs up. Hit the like button. Tell me what your comments are. If you like this little bubble, kind of experimenting with it, or you just like the voiceover, or you just want to hear the raw noise of the motors and the trimmers. I can't always get a good conversation and tell you what's going on with all these different properties. So I'm using a Wright 36. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, though. It is a good mower. I've used that for the last 5 years. Now I've replaced the battery and the solenoid, a couple of tires. Outside of that, of course, you see my truck and my trailer here. Outside of that, then I'll have some battery equipment here. Battery equipment is nice. It's just one of those things that, as I'm getting older here, this is the FCA 135R. This is made from steel. This is the stick edger, blade edger, if you will. And then I'll have the trimmer come out for the FSA 135. I like doing the blade edging rather than using the string trimmer. And you can watch a couple of my videos. You can see that the string will have a wobble. Some of these grasses, especially crabgrasses and St. Augustine, they're runners. They're really thick runners. And to try to use a string trimmer on that type of grass, cutting an edge, sometimes it doesn't do well. I spend more time trying to do that with a stick edger, with the string edger, trying to cut those stolons, and the stolons are like a vine, if you will, that just run along the ground. But when you start going into the sidewalk here, into the curbing edge, the string edger will cut it. It just takes a lot more time, a lot more string. That blade edging is by far a cleaner cut to do this with. So that's why I do that. I don't have a whole lot of string trimming edging that I do. Now, occasionally I'm lazy or something like that, then I'll do that, especially if I already got an established edge. This is not an established edge, so you can see there that I'm going to get that in shape. Now, down the road, probably, I can use the trimmer and do that. Now, the different types of grasses, like the Bahia, yeah, I can do the string trimmer on that one. But anywhere where there's stolons like we have, whether it's Pro Vista or St. Augustine, Floritan, even the crabgrass, they're just a lot thicker than the trimmers can handle, or that I like to clean the edge up, because sometimes it's just because that string just wobbles back and forth. It's just not a good clean edge. But anyway, that's me. You guys do you, and whatever you guys do. This is a southern lawn. You don't see these stripes. No stripes. Nope. Can't do a southern lawn stripes. I don't worry about doing stripes. It's one of those things that if you can get the grass to lay down appropriately, and that's, this one just stands straight up, even at 3 inches there. I know in my particular home, I cut my St. Augustine at 4 inches. And then, yeah, I'd get some wheel marks, but those wheel marks don't last but a couple of hours, and off it goes. So there's no striping here in the southern lawn. Hope you like the beautiful blue skies here. And I'm using, of course, the string trimmer. And I'm cutting that edge, not really an edge, but I'm cutting the small. You know how the lawnmower, when you go from a sidewalk or to a street, it's a little bit higher. You have to kind of cut that down. And that's why you have to use the string trimmer for that. If you don't, it looks like you didn't even touch it. So, yeah, it's kind of double duty, but that's okay. That's makes the yard looks nice, right? I'll be quiet for a little bit. You guys just hear the mower sounds. So all in all, I did 2 yards. Both took me 20 minutes, so 40 minutes in total. Didn't have to use my truck. Didn't go very far, obviously. I just left my truck obviously behind us, as you see. I never had to move it. And cut 2 properties. That's kind of ideally what you want, right? Now, that's the good news about areas that you're cutting lots of grasses in, you don't have to move your vehicle. But it also, you have to take breaks, because if you're cutting, like, for example, I'm only cutting two here. They're only 20 minutes apiece. That's not a big deal. But if I had 4 or 6 lots to do in this block area alone, and I'm cutting them one by one by one, I don't give myself a break. You can kind of get run down, and because when you go from one property to the next, you hop in the vehicle, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you get to, of course, you got the air conditioner, especially during the summer. You need that break. That sometimes when you have some properties so close together and you're mowing everybody, you don't get yourself a break because you just want to get them all done in that area, and then get out of there and go on to the next one. But I did that. There was 4 properties I was doing. There was actually they were all side by side by side and across the street. And in the summertime, it about wore me out. I just like I gotta stop. I gotta go back in the truck, cool down. Even though they're only 20 minutes apiece, but I mean, when you're looking at 80 minutes nonstop, you're hustling, and then you're dealing with 98 to 100 degrees temperature. That gets to you. And so these little small breaks when you go from property to property in your vehicle is enough to kind of cool you down. So that's something, we all want route consolidation, but be careful when you have too many properties. You've got to give yourself some breaks. Get some water breaks in you. Just go in the truck and cool down a little bit. But the month of October, it's already cool, so I'm not sweating a whole lot. I am. It's still, it's 87 degrees, but it's not 97 degrees, so that's kind of the big difference here. So it's not bad. It's, of course, early in the morning. I was mowing the guy across the street at 7:30, so this is probably 8 o'clock in the morning here. So I get started early in the morning. I get started at 7 o'clock, so. And it's just much cooler in the morning. I get done quicker. If I can beat the 1 o'clock hour, say I try not to have any jobs after 1 o'clock. It's just, that's the heat of the day. You just can't go on. It's just way too much heat. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of format and that you want to see my little bubble face. I'm looking at the screen as I'm talking to you, so I know what we're doing. So if my eyes kind of go down, you'll see why I'm doing that, not looking at you. But anyway, just let me know in the comments if this is something that you'd like to see more often, or kind of no talk at all and just see the action, all there is. But sometimes you need to see a story and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So you guys can do something up north that's totally different, but this is what I do. It works for me. The things that we do in the southern lawns versus the northern yards, it's just totally different. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're new here. I appreciate it, guys. Peace.